Hey guys, welcome back to the channel today. Today I'm going to be addressing one of our friends. I don't want to butcher your name, but I think it's Gilberto. And he's got a pretty interesting question. He says, hey, listen, I realize you got some experience in the car industry. I've been raised in it, and he says he's getting ready to retire from active duty Army. So first off, appreciate you for your service, number one. And number two, he says, he's retiring, so he says he loves cars, and he's looking at perhaps maybe a wholesale dealer's business. He goes on to write that he's got a few options to maybe take some classes in mechanics, a few of these type things, and maybe, is it a possibility maybe he should take that first? Maybe, what direction would I take? Would he go work for someone else, kind of be an apprentice? That sort of issue. Of course, he's our U.S. military, so he's very well at planning and carrying out tasks and getting the job done. So he probably would be great at business, and there's no doubt about it. You most certainly would be. Just the fact that you have enough sense to ask the question tells me that you would be just fine in the car business. So flipping cars is, in one sense, it's this huge amount you can never figure out all the working pieces to, that it's just like this immense, it just takes years and years and years and years and years of knowledge. If you were going to go run a multi-million, $80, $90 million a year franchise dealership, yes, that's fine, but you're probably not interested in that. You're probably just interested in, supplementing your income or trying to switch into an income. So, do you need to work for someone? The answer is no. Do you need to go take formal classes on automotive mechanics or body works? No. Because, let me tell you why. The industry, and any mechanic will tell you this, there is decent money in being a mechanic, but it's a slave job. In other words, the job's never done. One day it's a guy's starter, the next day it's a guy's radiator. And I don't get the feel from you that's kind of really what you want to do, is sit under a car and take your last 20 years that you're going to work and just beat your body up. The car business can be a lot funner than that. More fun, can it, Jen?
Yep.
So here's my first advice to you. Now, I am going to do a series, and I'm going to teach people how to buy a vehicle, and if you follow what I'm saying, you'll keep you from getting burnt. But more importantly, before you start the process of becoming a car dealer and all this stuff, let me explain a couple basics that you need to answer in your mind. One is you need to determine what range you're going to sell in. Like, in other words, you can't go buy a $1,500 Volkswagen Bug and then turn around and buy a $120,000 Ferrari. People won't know what to expect when they're dealing with you. Secondly, you need to not only decide what you're going to sell, but what price range you're in. So, give you an example. Pick a demographic that you feel like you would be comfortable with or would like to particularly help. An example. Maybe you're looking at people who need basic transportation, and we'll just stay on that subject for a while. So, you're going to focus on basic transportation, so the cars that you're going to buy are going to be based on that. Now, what kind of cars are based in basic transportation, or what are easy to sell? You got to look at, well, are minivans good to sell? Answer. I'm going to get Jen to answer. Minivans good to sell?
No.
Is big four-door cars?
No.
Big SUVs?
No.
Can be, but not that hot.
Especially with the price of fuel.
So you're probably, if I were you, Gilberto, what I would do is I would probably start with one vehicle, and I would look on Craigslist or someplace, that you got, maybe some guy's got a car or whatever the case is. And the first thing you need to decide when you look at that car is, what would this car sell for if it was nice? Don't look at a book. The books don't matter. They're going to tell you it's worth $3,000, but you may only be able to sell it for $2,000. So you're going to look at a car and you need to decide, hey, I think this car, I could buy it for $500. I could increase the value by, watch some of my videos, doing the carpet, buffing, polishing, Maybe it needs an alternator, maybe it needs a little fuel pump, maybe it needs something small, and you can increase the value of that vehicle from $500 to $1,500, and your labor's worth $1,000. You turn around and sell it, and that's how you do it. That's all you do. Great advice would be, just so you know immediately, when is the money made, Jim? When you buy it or sell it?
When you buy it.
When you buy the car is when you make your profit, because, and I always use the analogy of a can of Coke. If you see a can of Coke anywhere in the world, you know basically it costs 50, 75 cents, right?
Yep.
All right, so if you go see that can of Coke somewhere and you pay $3 for it, what's the can of Coke still worth?
Still worth 50 cents.
Still worth 50 cents. If you go buy it if you buy one with a scratch on it for 10 cents and you know you can touch up the paint on it, it's still worth
50 cents.
So there you go. Just use the can of Coke analogy on what is the car worth. And I'm going to really get into that and stuff like that, but I kind of wanted to do this video for you just so you have a real clear understanding. Set your demographics. Your best market to sell into is probably going to be first-time car buyers, people needing basic transportation. I have the ability, I can wholesale $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 cars all day long. The reason I don't do that is because there's no money in it. There is no money, no money, no money. You start using bank lending and getting floor plans and all this, they're the ones who make the profit. If you go use the auction, they're the ones who make the profit. You do the effort. If you want to be extremely profitable flipping cars, you do one car at a time. You take your time, you do your homework, you get it home, you get it done right, and you put it for sale cheaper. You make a nicer car and put it for sale cheaper than anybody else will buy it. That's the secret in the flipping cars, if that's really what you want to do. Now, there's a way to buy them, and we're going to really get more into that. But like, if you understand that basic concept, and then we're going to build on like your strengths. Okay, well, you might be like, hey, car man, I can make a car look good. That's one thing I'm good at. Okay, so what I would suggest for you to do is get a car with a few cosmetic issues that runs good. Then we don't have to worry about you going to school for body shop mechanics or mechanical or transmission. You know, if you got a car that runs and drives good, your first focus will be make it look pretty. And then ever how much you make it look pretty is what you're worth. So if you make a car look pretty and you can make $1,000 on it, then you've done a job. Now, I don't know what your goal is, if you're just trying to make $5,000 a month or an extra 10 or whatever. But what I'm telling you will absolutely work. There's a lot more that goes along with this, but just to get you started, the answer would be no, no, and no. Yes, no, 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 you don't need someone else. You don't need further education. What you need to do is just pay attention. You've got a good brain on your shoulders. When you're looking at that car, I'm going to go through a whole checklist. It'll be coming up in the next few weeks, so sit tight. And I'll teach you how to buy a car to where it's profitable. And nothing else, I can teach you how to buy a car to where you don't get hurt. So even if you buy it and you have a hard time selling it, you will always be able to get your money back out. And that's the secret. A lot of people in this business are strictly ego-driven, and they'll just pay whatever because they think that for whatever reason, it's the funniest thing you ever see in your life. I mean, that can of Coke I'm talking about, at an auction, because they're mad at their buddy, they'll spend $1 on it and then go try to sell it to someone else for $1.50, and at the end of the day, it's still just a 50-cent Coke. But as far as the auto auction, as far as dealing with other dealers, as far as going to pay for the education, you're going to get all the education you want, starting with your first car.
You might also want to let him know, a lot of times if he were to purchase a car that, was just cosmetically weak, like the Saturn.
Yeah, cosmetically weak.
You don't really have to have body school. Right,
there's enough do-it-yourself stuff out there that you can just kind of go through it.
Go to the junkyard, pull your parts, I
mean, it sounds like for what you want to do, I can teach you anything you want to know about it. I mean, I'll make you one of the best, and I am truly, I'm not, just ego myself, but I really am good at what I do, and I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Very true.
And anything else we can share with Gilberto?
Well, Gilberto, I responded to your comment last week, and I just wanted to thank you for your service and thank you for that kind comment that you put back on. It meant a lot, and I think that with the background that you have with the military, I think you'd be very, very good in this car industry.
And this goes for you as well as anyone else watching this video. If you are on my channel and you are watching, you have an absolute expert in the field of my business. And I don't mind sharing the secrets. I walked away from that industry as far as the franchise side of it, and I'm done with it. But I still know everything it takes to do the dance. I can do it. I do play around with like cheaper, less expensive stuff, and when people need this and that, and that's where this channel was born from. But my true passion in life is buying and selling and flipping. That's what I've done my entire life at huge levels. And it's kind of fun to share that information with people that can really get some real life help out of it, and something that actually help your family. And that's what I'm about. So I'm cool with it. If y'all need anything, and especially please pay attention. I'm going to put an entire series out that will completely teach you how to do this game. All right, man. Peace out and support your military.
Homefront Hugs USA.
Hey, today we're doing the walk around on the car.
Oh boy, guys, you don't want to
miss that.
It's going to be done soon. Won't look like the same car.
All right, come back for the Saturn.
Thanks for supporting us and subscribe.